This week's episode is sponsored by The Gallery.
Do you have dull white walls?
Do you need something to brighten up your room?
If the answer is yes, then we have the website for you. The Gallery, based out of New York, is a curated collection of photographs from around the world. While we are unable to travel, this is a great way to bring a piece of the world to you. All prints are made from 100% recycled aluminum, giving your wall that gallery finish. Right now, The Gallery is offering our listeners 15% off their purchase by using offer code 15OFF.
Just go to thegallery.com. That's TheGallery.com. So your walls will never be boring again.
Now let's start the show.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
To the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 231. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
So Dan, I'm going home to see my family again this weekend. A nice little extended weekend. All right, as my parents have been they've been begging for me to come home again, and I've been kind of doing my thing and traveling upstate and hanging out for birthdays and whatnot. Mom and Dad said, Dave, are you still alive? Where are you at? And I said, no, I'm good. I'm going to come home. So I'm taking a little 4-day vacation, going home to see the parents. Feeling pretty good about that. Get to jump in the pool for a little bit. So
they have a pool? Wait,
yeah.
Your parents have a pool? I didn't even know that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And it has a major leak in it. Spoilers. Yep. They have like a underground pool? Or like it is an in-ground pool, of course.
So where is it leaking?
Well, I mean, it leaks in the lining, right? I think there's a crack in the foundation. The lining is one of the first things to pop. And they had divers go down. They had people try and figure out where the leak is, patch it up, this and that. So
how do they know? Well, how do they know it's the leak? They can't find the leak when the divers go. How do you?
No, they find the leak and they try and patch it, and it just. But I mean, you see, the water level always goes down, right? So you know it's a leak, right? The water's not going to evaporate that much given the hot sun. It's not like it's 100 degrees in Arizona where the water's going to evaporate like that. So, I mean, they've been having this problem for a while, and they talked to our neighbors about it, and they're like, yeah, we kind of bit the bullet some years ago and we did it. And, so I think they're going to tear up a lot of stuff and redo it. And, so that's actually going down tomorrow, too. I'm coming out to see my parents. My dad's coming in to pick me up. I gotta be ready to go in the morning. Boom, get out there, go with him. And then in the afternoon, there's going to be all this, construction crew and whatever out there to, I guess, kick off on the project. I don't know, so.
I hope everybody's wearing masks. Social distancing.
Same. Trust me, I'm going to make sure that goes down. I ain't gonna mess around like that.
Especially your parents are a little bit on the older side, so they definitely need to be careful.
My parents are look. You talk about me being old all the time and whatnot. My parents are legit old. They are 78 and 80. My dad turned 80 this year. So
so they had you when they were 15, 16, right? So
what?
That makes sense.
God damn it.
That makes sense.
God damn it. It's not the point. Oh, shit.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh, my God. All right. So, what's going on with you, Dad? How's your weekend been so far? What do you got going on?
I got nothing planned. All right, you know what? I take that back. It's not that I have nothing
Come
planned.
on now. It's the middle of the summer. I know, like, COVID's going down, but come on. You got to have something going on.
You know what I have going down?
What's that?
Game room organization rearrange. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, most people would say, "Wow, that's terrible. That's one of the worst things to do. How boring." No. I envy.
It's a labor of love.
It's fun, right?
I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink some sangria that I'm going to make tonight.
Oh, yeah. You've been perfecting that brew.
I've been perfecting the sangria. I got to bring some over. You still haven't tried it?
No. I'm actually very curious to try it.
We're gonna get the explicit tag because I'm going to tell you my sangria will fuck you up.
Nice. I love it. Okay. That's okay. Nothing wrong with an afternoon nap after your day drink.
You know what? It's the new Metal Jesus had sort of like gamer snacks. I got the new summer gamer drink.
Oh, okay? There you go.
Sangria.
Oh my God. Yes.
There you go.
Listen.
With apples, pineapples, right? Apple slices, pineapples, and they say they put a cup of brandy in it. Put a cup and a half.
Cup and a half. Well, heavy hand. Very nice.
I use brown sugar, not white sugar. But what I do is I let the fruit soak in the brandy first,
very nice,
before I start mixing everything up.
Very nice. So that probably took you some time to kind of get all those little bits together, right? I'm gonna try some brown sugar this time. I'm gonna let it soak this time, right?
Yeah, and I use flavored seltzer water, sort of you have to have like sort of like a middle ground, right, between the liquor and the wine, and so I use sort of like flavored seltzer water to get that extra. I try to get something citrusy like lemon or something, so you get sort of like a hint of lemon. You don't really taste the lemon, right? So that's I'm telling you, this is perfected. Sangria, baby. It's a summer gamer drink.
Have you seen the people going around like the Central Park and Prospect Park, like selling their drinks?
No, I heard about that. I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna do that.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But
I went to the beach last week and people were selling drinks on the beach.
Right? Did you get one?
No. You know why? I had my sangria.
That's right. You came prepared.
I came prepared. What I want to do, this is what I want to do. I want to try something different. Okay, for the last 5 months, okay, I haven't been in the city, but I've been trying to perfect my red sangria recipe.
Right.
I'm going to go white. I don't really drink white sangria, but I saw a recipe where you use Prosecco. So I think I'm going to go try. I'm going to use I think I'm going to go peach Prosecco white sangria. That's what I'm going to do.
Hey, man, you got time. Why not? See what happens. If it's a bad batch, no one's going to know.
Well, you know what? I'll just tweak it over time. So every time I go to the liquor store, I'll buy a bottle of red wine and white wine.
Nice. Nice.
So, but Dave.
Much respect.
Dave, we have a great show this week. All right, we're going to talk some Halo. We're going to talk Epic's epic lawsuit against Apple and Google. But let's get into the quick takes. We talked about G4 TV coming back. I know you were amazed. You were like, this isn't coming back. And it's like, no, they're really coming back.
Right. It's a network TV in some way.
It's a network TV that's coming back in 2021. And it looks like Olivia Munn will be coming back in some role of capacity to G4 TV. I hope she rejoins as host of some show on G4. But she got her start. Now, Olivia, she got her start with this, but then she sort of transitioned into acting, and she played on Aaron Sorkin's HBO drama that I kind of love. I totally forgot the
Newsroom?
name. Right?
Yeah. No, Newsroom was great, man.
Yeah, Newsroom
was great.
Newsroom was awesome.
It got cut off way too soon.
Cut off way too soon.
And she was on the Daily Show for like a minute too, which was cool. And
then she played. She was on X-Men. She was in a horrible X-Men movie.
She was Psylocke.
She was Psylocke.
Not her fault. It was not her fault, but
she fit that character too.
She fits, of course, man, like 100%. 100%.
This she hasn't really done anything other than being like an animal shelter commercials that drove me crazy because they played it over and over and over and over again on demand.
Isn't that like Sarah McLachlan? No, isn't that what you're talking about?
No, Olivia Munn was
really.
Yeah,
I have not seen this. I have not seen.
Listen during quarantine.
I'm listening, Dan. Tell me.
I watched a lot of movies and TV shows, like binge watch, like on demand on Verizon on FiOS, and like every 10 to 15 minutes they have the same commercial over and over again.
Right.
And it's usually Olivia Munn talking to her dogs. Right.
So how many rescues? How many rescues do you have now? 3, 4?
Yeah, it's over and over and over again. They can at least throw in some different commercials.
Right?
It's the same commercial over and over again.
Oh my god.
But I think this is exciting. I think this is a good look for them, sort of bringing the nostalgia back. It still remains to be seen what they would do to, make it new. And I mean, they've been off the air for a long time.
I want to say since the early 2010s, maybe. Right?
Yeah, I think 2011.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, I love G4. We love Tech TV before that, which is where that came from.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
So, next, the collector in me, I kind of want this. This looks awesome. I don't know if you've seen this. They have the S&K arcade cabinet.
I did.
Now,
I did.
The biggest difference between the arcade 1-up cabinets and this is arcade 1-up cabinets usually have like 4 or 5 games, right?
Right. It's like a theme set. Yeah.
It's a theme set. S&K is like, screw it. We're giving you 50 games.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And
good.
And the arcade 1-up are usually like $350, $379 or something around that range, unless you get it on sale for like $250, right? The older ones you get on sale for like $250. This is going to be $449, so it's gonna be $450, and you can even have a stand to go with it because it's sort of like a tabletop arcade, but they sell a stand separately for $50. So altogether, $500. I think it's a great value.
It is. It looks real pretty. It looks just like the MVS arcade stand-up machines, except you have to buy the riser separately if you want to make it like a full standing arcade machine, which. I mean, you kind of gotta, you're not gonna put this on your like living room table and squat in front of it and play. You're gonna play it standing up. So
I don't know if you caught this. There's a little details. They have a quarter. They have a quarter slot for quarters. Don't know if they were operational. I hope no.
I think it's probably like a push button start or something. I bet.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get everything. You get all the King of most. I think you get all the King of Fighters, you get all the Metal Slug games, all the Samurai Showdowns, the Fatal Furies, the World Hero games. Like, you get all the good ones. You know what though? There is one. I don't see it on the list. I don't see Windjammers on the list because it was a Neo Geo game.
That's gonna be an S&K Neo Geo arcade cabinet too. Come on.
Yeah, right. It certainly should. Really, not much else I can see that's missing from here.
You know, it reminds me of the S&K Mini, right? It's just it's just an actual life-size Mini.
It is. Yeah. Bigger screen, better resolution.
2 players. So
2 player this time around. I think
it's all red. The cabinet's all red. I like it.
Yeah, no, it looks official.
And as soon as it goes on sale, I'll buy it. Still not spending $500.
I'm not surprised. I mean, the thing looks good. I'm even thinking about getting it. All right, for the amount of fighting games you get in there on like one stand-up cabinet, it's not a bad idea.
I would get it. I would get this. Over the arcade 1-up one.
Right.
And look, I get it. Arcade 1-up have to go through licensings with Capcom and Konami, right, for the Ninja Turtle ones and stuff. The Ninja Turtle cabinet. The S&K owns these games. They can do what they want. They can put.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, Dave, as we always try to start the show, but epically fail, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a couple of games, Dan. Well, first of all, I don't want to keep you in suspense anymore, and you'll be very happy about this news. I have beaten The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2.
Oh, it's about time.
The journey is complete. Listen, it was quick, man. I ran through part 1 and part 2 in like maybe a month and a half tops. I blasted through both those games.
Yeah. So no spoilers, but how do you like it? How'd you like? You know what? Tell me how you like this part 2, and then tell me how you like the series as a whole.
Both were very excellent. They were strong adventures. I think if you want me to be super critical, and I'm going to,
I just want you to heap praise.
Well, I mean, I could do that too. Druckmann would be very happy if I did that. I think the story is the thing that keeps you going. The gameplay is good. It's not bad by any means, but like the story is really what keeps you going. And I don't think the gameplay was as groundbreaking. Like in the first one, it was like kind of cool and it was new and novel. I personally don't think they added a ton of stuff in this new one. Like they added some new things, and they changed some of the crafting around, and some of the they added some new weapons in there, and some other stuff which was like kind of cool, and some things you could do with the rope, and some new environment puzzles. But it still felt like The Last of Us. That's like the biggest criticism. But the story, the motivations of all the characters, and the ending, I was on board with. I don't know what the internet's talking about. They're really just a bunch of haters. So, yeah.
So you like the game? All right.
I did. Yeah.
What do you think about the ending?
I mean, yeah. Trying to do this without spoiling anything. So, I thought it made sense, but I think they could have cut those last. I think they could have cut those last like 2 hours off.
Really?
And saved it for the inevitable part 3. And made that the crux of part 3. Yeah, I think so.
I disagree. I say they could have gave you a choice. Right?
Right.
At the end.
If anyone who's beaten it should know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And you could either go one of two ways. Right? And then let you live with that decision.
Right.
And just when they make the inevitable part 3, just don't, you change the story a little bit to where it doesn't matter which choice you make.
That would be tough depending on where they think the story is going to go, right? Because the thing you do may have pivotal effects on what happens in the third one. You may have to do 2 completely different stories to make that happen. Not that it hasn't been done before. There are games that continue your choices, like Mass Effect. I think was one of those in particular. So, I think that would have been kind of interesting for the end, and it would have made it like that much more impactful for sure. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So what else have you been playing?
So since I've beaten The Last of Us 2, I need a new PS4 game to play because that's what I've been kind of banging out all summer. So I jumped into Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oldie but goodie.
I know. Welcome to 2017, Dave. But, I'm playing the game, all right? I'm playing the game right now. It's good. I'm still getting used to the mechanics. I'm only a couple hours in, so.
I got to get back into that game.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's beautiful. Like, I was like, this game looks just as good as a game put out today. Like, I can't believe it. Like, it's using the same engine that Days Gone and also Death Stranding use. And man, they put together a good engine and a very good game. Like, it
can't believe
beautiful.
Guys from Killzone made this.
Right? Hey man, like Killzone also still looks good. Like, Killzone Shadowfall, right? The the launch title. That looked legit.
So just as a side note, the rumors are that they're working. The whole studio isn't working on the next Horizon game. There's a separate team that's secretly working on a Killzone game.
I could see that. And then the last game, which I got for free in the Epic Game Store, which we'll be talking about them a little bit later. Wilmot's Warehouse.
The hell is that?
I knew you were gonna say that. You've seen this trailer before. They had it, I think, during the PlayStation, either the PlayStation or the Xbox. One of the conferences, maybe even the Nintendo one. But it's an indie title where you play as a warehouse worker, and every level is a new shipment. So you get in like products, right? And these products are squares that have little shapes on them. And you get like, 2-3 minutes to organize your warehouse, right? You get a big warehouse and you really want to like group all the items together, right? You want to group all the green stars together and all the blue moons, right? And there's like 200 different shapes. You start off with a couple of shapes. And then once that's over, then you have customers. Customers come to the window and they're like, they'll tell you what they want, right? Some guy may want 2 blue stars, or some guy may want an orange triangle and a purple moon or whatever, and you got to go fetch those. And you got to do those within a certain amount of time. You got to give them. And you can carry a certain amount, like a certain weight. If you carry too much, you'll start like sweating and you'll move real slow. But it's a super cute game. Yeah, very, very indie, very like pick up and play. But I was like, yeah, I'll give this a spin. It's too good. Too good.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about you? What have you been playing?
I'm going to tell you what I've been playing. You ready? This is like crazy.
Okay,
crazy.
lay it on me now. Lay it on me.
All right.
Lay it on me.
I've been playing nothing. I've been taking a break.
There you go. Grown man gamer Dan Robinson over here. Life gets in the way.
Gotta take a break. Gotta take a break.
I hear you.
I after I finished Ghost of Tsushima, it's just
that took a lot out of you. I know. You had to take a nap for a couple days.
I beat the Last of Us Part 2. Then I went straight into Ghost of Tsushima, with some Paper Mario in between.
Oh, there you go.
I had to take a break.
There you go.
But I mean, before that, I was sort of playing BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Because I bought it for the Switch, so
right.
I was playing it on the go. Didn't really care about the story, so just like.
You've been playing a lot of that game for a man who doesn't care about the story. I'm just saying, as an outside observer.
I still don't know what the story is about that much.
It'll end up all coming together in the end.
I play it on mute. I play it on mute for the most part.
Oh, my God, Dan, you're missing out on all the good dialogue.
I do. It's just something for me to do.
Oh, my God.
While I'm like outside on the patio.
Listen. Give us the girl and you wipe away the debt. All right? That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That's the only thing I got, but I don't know what she's saying. I don't know why she's running away from me. I don't know what.
Dan. That's criminal. Ken Levine is rolling over in his figurative grave right now, even though he's not dead.
He's rolling over in his Rolls Royce.
Yeah, right.
Well, speaking of BioShock, they think the rumor is that they're making a BioShock 4. They actually put out job listings for a new BioShock game, but it also points to maybe BioShock 4, the next BioShock game, I should say. I don't know if it's 4, maybe a spin-off, or they're going to do another trilogy, right? It may not take place in the Rapture or Columbia, which is where I am in Infinite, up in the sky.
Well, I heard about this. There were some rumblings about it. I don't think Ken Levine, who did the first one and the third one, the good ones, as far as I'm concerned, and that it's going to be done by 2K. I think the guys who did the second one, so it could be cool. I'm definitely going to check it out and see how it is. I did enjoy 2 a lot. I just didn't think the story was as good as the first one, but it is what it is.
If they're not going to be underwater, they're not going to be in the sky. I say they're going to be on the moon. In space.
That could be interesting. Like do it in
BioShock space.
Do it in a near, because BioShock, the first one was I think 1949, right? Into the new year maybe, and the second one was 1959. So you could space race and we're trying to colonize the moon. I could see that. I could see that.
Wait, when did you say the first BioShock was?
I think it was 49 or 59.
Well, what did they play it on? Because I don't think PS3 and Xbox 360 were out yet.
Oh my God, Dan! God damn it! God damn it! The story takes place in 1949, 1959.
You're like BioShock came out in 1949. I was like after World War II.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. They were playing on the IBM mainframe. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, all right. Well, I haven't been playing anything, and I don't know if I will get a chance to play anything this weekend because I'm doing a whole rearrange. I'm just trying to clean up, and
it takes time, man. You got to maintain the collection.
I'm looking for a new tube TV because this tube TV that I got it from my aunt. and the volume doesn't work.
Uh-oh.
So I can't. It works, but it's like on high. So it's either I have the game blasting,
yeah,
and my eardrums go crazy, or I just can't have any music. I can't even sound.
It's not just the remote that's broken, right? Like the actual, it doesn't issue the command.
Listen, I don't know what my aunt did. Put the volume buttons are like pushed in.
Oh.
No, they're not even pushed in. They're missing. And I guess the part of the board that has the volume on it is gone too. They broke that piece off.
Jesus, they're like, no, it's got to be at high volume.
I've bought Panasonic as a Panasonic TV, 32-inch TV. I bought Panasonic remotes and it just doesn't work.
Oh shoot!
So I really would like to get a new TV, but I need to I want to rearrange and clean up, and I got a lot of new games. Since I am now, Dave, I am almost 3,600 games now. I was almost 30. I hit 3,500 like a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm almost at 36.
I know. I keep saying I got to make you those celebration graphics so we can throw it out there, let the world know that you're getting up there. You're starting to rival The Last Gamer on YouTube. You're getting there.
I'm starting to rival when he made his first video.
Yeah, right.
10 years ago.
Have you been like, side note, have you been watching his
retrospect?
When he had that first room and he was there with what's her name from the game store, the Game Traders, and she was helping him like set up all the stuff. Like, he has more games than you and me combined at that point. I'm like, oh my god.
He has more games in storage at like his uncle's house.
Yes. Yeah, he's insane, man. He's insane. I really want to like get a scope of how big his house is, because he's built on like 7 like additions to his house, right? He always keeps modifying it. It's got to be huge in that backyard.
You know what? Much respect. I still think, I know he doesn't hold the Guinness Book of World Record right now, but I think that's just because he didn't do a recount. Right.
I think you're exactly right. Yeah.
He graciously let somebody else take the title for a while, and I saw that the guy put out a video.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. He put out a video, and it's not as
luxurious.
It doesn't look as good as The Last Gamer, because The Last Gamer, he obviously made an extra wing.
He has the room
house
to display it. Yeah.
This guy just has like a house like me or you, and he has
like floor to ceiling.
Totes and totes, floor to ceiling, full of games. He's just like, you see these 20 boxes right here, all Famicom, all my Famicom games. I got.
Oh my god. Do you know where the guy's from? Is he from the U.S. or?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think he is. I do. I don't remember. I'll be honest. I don't remember. I saw it. It's when did he lose the record? Like 2 years ago or something?
Yeah, about then I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like. Yeah, you see this hallway here? Because he had like a hallway that was like had like boxes and totes on both sides. He's just like, the left-hand side is all my my Genesis games from America, and my right-hand side is like my Genesis games from like Japan. Jesus, just like all about everything he has is like boxed up. He has very few like bookshelves. I mean, he does have bookshelves and stuff, but like I felt like everything he had was like in boxes. So he was really excited to get the title. I do think The Last Gamer, if he did a recount, I'm sure he still has the title, right? So why don't we take a break? When we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
So let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's start with the leaning news. This is big news. This is breaking news. This is big news. This is crazy news. This is bad news for the launch of the Xbox Series X, because Halo Infinite has been delayed until 2021.
Yeah, this is very much big, crazy, bad news. It's good news for Halo Infinite, because they're going to make it better, right? They're going to make it better. Yeah, well, let's. Well, go ahead.
They said they need more. They said they need more time to put into developing this, because they blamed it. They essentially blamed it on the quarantine, right? Everyone's working from home. They want to bring the best game possible, and it makes it tough. And they realize that they need a little bit more time.
That's 100% fair. You know, it's kind of difficult trying to get in that work from home mindset to be able to have a workspace that's clutter free, right? Like you and me know, you know, we have our TVs and our computers and our thousands of video games that we can just be like, I'm gonna put down my laptop and maybe 5 minutes of Street Fighter, right? It's like, no, we got to get back to work. So I get it, and I think like kind of coming off a very lackluster presentation at the July presentation from Microsoft with their Xbox, right? Graphics, I will admit, I was trying to defend them, you know, and saying like, look, it's got like this global light, and it's, you know, it's going to be 120 frames, and you know, it's not done yet, and whatever. But they're like, well, no, it's not going to be ready by November. So now they got to go ahead and kick it, which sucks because what do they have now for launch that's like the system seller?
I think Xbox. I think
it's a hard question. Right?
I think the Series X is in trouble. Okay. I think the Series.
I agree.
I don't think Microsoft is in trouble. I don't think Xbox as a brand is in trouble. I just think the Series X, the first few months of the Series X, I think is in trouble.
It's definitely going to be a slow start
because there's nothing that you can't play on the PS5 or your Xbox One X if you have one already, or you buy one cheap during Black Friday.
At launch, Halo was going to be like the big thing. Yeah, Halo was going to be like the killer.
Even though you can play Halo on your Xbox Series X, right? Because it's backwards and forwards compatible. You would theoretically or ideally want to play it on a new hardware because you want.
Oh, you're talking about the One and the One X. Yeah, you could play it on the old stuff, but yeah, you would want to play it on the shiny new thing. Yeah,
you would want to play it on the shiny new thing, right? So it's the first time in Xbox's Xbox console has launched with a Halo game since the original Xbox.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. It's still the original Halo game.
Right. Right.
So I believe. I'll be honest. I think the July event played a little bit of a role in this, where the backlash. I think
100%. Yeah.
I think the backlash was so bad that they said, wow, we weren't expecting that. And I think this was the nail in the coffin. Okay. The patch for the Xbox Series X to make it look better, the ray tracing and all that, wasn't going to be ready in time for launch. That was like a post-launch patch.
Right.
That they didn't even have a specific date for.
It's going to be a March thing, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Phil Spencer and the Xbox team in 343 said, you know what? This is something we can't screw up. Because Halo 5 was already dragged through the mud. We need to get this right.
It had some issues with the single player. Multiplayer people love.
So I'm going to say, I'm predicting that this is going to launch. Well, the Halo Infinite is going to come out holiday 2021. So that's between September and December of 2021.
Even though they said March, about around March. Well, you still think it's going to get pushed?
They gave a win. Well, look, they for a year they said it's going to come out with the Xbox Series X, and,
I know,
and it got delayed. You know,
true.
So I the pressure is off, right? Like the pressure was on to do maybe a little bit of crunch from home to get it out in time for the launch, and now that pressure is off, that if you're not going to do it for launch, then you might as well take the time you need to get it right. And next year is the 20th anniversary, because remember, the original Xbox and Halo launched November of 2001. So we're at so I think next year all we're going to see is marketing for the 20th anniversary of Halo Infinite, and it's going to come out in the holiday of 2021. That's my prediction.
Interesting. That may be, the more time they have to work on it, the better. That's for sure. Although conversely, and I want to ask you a follow-up question. The longer they end up waiting, the more people are going to wait to buy the system, because it's like, where's the system seller? Where's the system seller, right? And Halo was going to be that game for them. So I guess like my question is, do you think the push is the right move, right?
I think the push is the right move for Halo. The push is the bad move for the Series X. And this is we're now seeing, we're seeing two different stories, right? With the PlayStation 5, they've been mum's the word. And they've been mum's the word, maybe for a good reason. Maybe a lot of things weren't ready yet for them to talk about.
They were definitely not. That's
right?
Otherwise you'd be like, check out all this cool shit.
And Xbox or Microsoft has put themselves in a precarious situation because for a year they've said you're getting the new console and new Halo game coming in a year, right? So it's like, all right, they said it. They said it's coming, and they put the pressure on
I think they said that this year, that Halo was going to be a launch title.
I don't think they said it this year. I think it was last year. I think it was E3. No, we saw Halo Infinite at E3.
We did see it at E3, but they didn't.
2019.
They didn't say it was going to be a launch title at that point. I don't think.
No. They said it was a launch title. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
maybe.
No, they said it was a launch title, and we saw, and then we've for a year, we've had in our mind since E3 of 2019.
Right, you get the expectation and the hope, and it's like, well, it's coming out. Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm going to get it with the thing. It's going to be great day one. You're going to play multiplayer. And now not so much.
So remember, PS4 and Xbox One, we didn't hear about. I mean, there were always rumors, but we didn't officially hear about it until earlier in the year, right? We didn't hear like February for PlayStation and May for Xbox before E3, right? And they could have pivoted and said, we're going to hold off because things aren't ready, right? But Xbox in this case said since E3 last year, hey, we're coming out with a new console and a new Halo game coming out in holiday of 2020, right? So they set that expectation out there, and they doubled down and said, no, it's coming, no matter even the pandemic, it's coming, right? So they never gave themselves wiggle room to pivot. I think if they would have never announced the Series X console, I think they could have pivoted and maybe delayed the console a year until Halo was ready. But they could, but they can't now. They
definitely can. Well, they're already in production. I mean, there's no way around that. So
I know, but like around, let's say December, right?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knew about the zombie apocalypse.
All right.
That was a wrench in the system.
Okay, I give you one better. March. Right, because that's when everything hit the fan.
That's when that's when people started to take it seriously. Yeah,
that's when the NBA stopped. That's when people closed their borders.
That's right.
That's when people started quarantine. I quarantined the halfway through the second week of March.
Yep.
So March is when it shit hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to announce your consoles at E3. Right, because that's essentially what PS5 did, right? They gave a press conference or interviewed a Wired about the next console, but they officially announced it and showed it at E3, right, around E3 time ish, right, in June. If Microsoft would have did the same thing, they could have said, you know what, Halo's not ready, so why don't we just pivot? Nobody knows. This is all rumors and speculation that the new Xbox console is coming, right?
I hear you, but you're making a hindsight as 2020 type situation right now, because nobody could have predicted the dumpster fire that is 2020, that we are riding in right now, downhill at breakneck speed without a break. I mean, it's terrible.
I'm just saying in March when everything hit the fan and you take an honest look at Halo and see it's probably not ready.
Even in March, we were still trying to figure things out. I think I hear what you're saying, but it's
March going into April. You have the option. I'm just saying, if you didn't announce it so early, you had the option to pivot and hold it back.
Well, I mean, the idea was they wanted to be in the zeitgeist. They wanted to be the thing that people were talking about, and they were. Everyone was saying, "Where's the PS5? Where's the PS5?" And it's like we got to see the console of the Xbox, we got to see Halo. So a little bit of senuous, not a sacrifice, but whatever the sequel is. Senuous Saga. We saw a little bit of that, and we got the full on like inside teardown of the system, right, by like Digital Foundry. It's like, I'm in. I want the console. Where's it at?
And you want and let me ask you a question. You want the console to do what?
I want the console
like,
to play video games. Like
I know,
they were committed to this cross compatibility stuff. So I know that all of my Xbox One games I can pop into my Series X and get some improvements on it. So it's like, well, that's cool. And all of the other games. All right, there's more coming down the pipeline. I knew Halo was in the mix.
I just don't think they're going to. I think they're going to suffer. I think sales are going to suffer, and I don't think they care.
Well, sales are definitely going to suffer because they don't have the system. They don't have the killer app. They don't have the system seller, and that's going to be a problem.
I don't think they're going to care as much, to be honest, because they long term. I think they want to be sort of like software, like digital, right? Like they have Games Pass, and they want people to invest in Games Pass.
They said that in the 2019 E3 presentation at the end. They said they wanted to turn this into like a services platform, and we're all about the online, the connectivity, and they were talking about xCloud and like the Games Pass. Like, yeah, that's 100% right. Like we know where Microsoft wants to go with their system. But you didn't answer my question. You said it was bad for Xbox or bad for Microsoft and good for Halo. Is it ultimately a good move for the service as a whole, right? Because like any game could do with another month, another 2 months of development, another 3 months, another year of development. I mean, look at like Red Dead. Red Dead was 8 years in the making. Like that was a long time for that game to come out.
It's going to be, when this game comes out, it's going to benefit from it, and it's going to do wonders. And I think we're going to love this game.
But that's not what I'm asking. Is it the right move to delay Halo? Is it the right move to delay Halo? Is that the right move is that going to benefit Microsoft in the end?
It's going to benefit Microsoft in the end. It's just not going to benefit them in the beginning.
Sure. So they're gonna take a little bit of pain. Sales are gonna dip. They're not gonna do as well as Sony. I don't think.
We're gonna get a repeat of what happened in 2013, where you can buy the Series X. It's not going to be sold out. They may be, it's going to be available, and the PS5 is probably going to be sold out everywhere.
Well, maybe. I mean, there's not going to be a Kinect packed in with every Xbox now, so
well,
you don't have to worry about that.
It also depends on the price. It depends on the price too.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know what these systems are going to be at. We still don't know the price. That's the biggest crime right now. Somebody's got to come out the gate. Like, come on. The runner, or the third base coach is waving you home. Let's go. Somebody's got to make that slide. Come on.
So, I think, again, in the short term, this is gonna hurt Xbox. Long term, for Halo and 343 and Xbox, this is a perfect decision. So it'll benefit them in the long run. But Microsoft has stuck to their guns. They've delayed Halo, but the Series X is coming out.
Yep.
And we speculated. I said it's coming out in November, and you said no, that's too late. It has to come out a little bit earlier. You speculated by October, then you sort of changed your mind or changed your tune and said, you know what, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out in November.
Well, when I found out Halo was going to be a launch title, I'm like, oh, it's going to be 11/15. It's going to be the original day and date of the first Xbox.
And they officially have announced that the Xbox Series X launch window will be in November.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I say it's going to be like a week before Black Friday. Personally,
sure.
I think it's going to come out like mid-November.
Sure.
So they're sticking to their guns, and I am ready. I said from the get-go that I was buying Cyberpunk for the Xbox, because when Cyberpunk was coming out in September, I was already committed mentally to buying Avengers, because they were a week apart originally. Avengers for the PS4 and Xbox for the Xbox. I mean, Cyberpunk for the Xbox One. But now the
Xbox for the Xbox.
Xbox for the Xbox for the Xbox for the Cyber Xbox.
Okay.
But now that it's coming out in September, this will be the game I play. This will probably be the first game I play on my Series X.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that Black Friday is the 27th, I believe. So I believe this is going to come out on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to get a launch on the 20th.
Mm-hmm. And well, go ahead.
And then the rumor was, and we talked about it in the show, that the PS5 would launch like the beginning of December, right? Like December 4th.
That would kind of align with when the original PlayStation came out. So maybe they want to do like a big anniversary thing, or I think it was December 6th, 1995, I think is when it came out, if I remember correctly. Now, I do have to say, kind of like going back to the Xbox launch lineup, there still are a ton of great games that you can play. There's a ton of great games that are going to be optimized for the Series X, right? There's about 100 games from the current generation now that you can play on the Xbox Series X with graphical enhancements, which is like pretty cool. Gears 5 in particular is going to be running probably at 120 frames per second with like extra, lighting effects and this and that. It's really going to take advantage. Going to look super smooth. And I think, Gears is still doing pretty well. It's got a good, robust online community. So, I mean, you have that. You got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Dirt 5. Dirt 5 is pretty good. That's confirmed 120 frames per second for that. Gears Tactics, among other games. So it's not like there's going to be a lack of things to play. It's just going to be a lack of exclusive things to play on the Series X.
You could play Xbox One X.
Yeah, I mean you can, but it just won't look and play as good, And
it won't look as cool because it's not going to be a tower with a green glowing light at the top.
You gotta get that 2001: A Space Odyssey monolith.
So let's shift focus or gears to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
We know the PlayStation 5, I still think it's coming out early December, but depending on the price, they may want to come out before Xbox Series X, especially now that Halo's not coming out. And, Spider-Man, they said Spider-Man is going to be a holiday game, so I think it's going to be a launch game. I think it's going to come out at least a week or two apart from the PS5, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the controller and PS4 controllers not working with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And you need a DualSense controller if you're going to play games in the PS5.
So it's a little upsetting.
But this should make you feel a little better. The battery life on the PS5 and the DualSense, because people were speculating if the DualSense, I keep saying DualSense 5 in my mind, but I keep suppressing saying the DualSense 5.
Right. Because it's just the DualSense.
Is that the DualShock, right? Because it's DualShock 4, 3. Right. You think the DualShock 5. You think it does so much more that it's going to have even worse battery life than the DualShock 4?
Well, the DualShock 4 probably takes the cake for the worst battery life. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'm sorry.
Apparently, the DualSense is gonna have a really long battery life. Maybe not as long as the Pro controller, the Switch Pro controller, but definitely longer than the DualShock 4.
Well, I mean, I think anything. I think my solar powered toaster has more battery life than a DualShock 4. Yeah, those things are terrible, man. It's all about that giant blue light on the outside that just keeps glowing. Ugh, too much.
I don't think anything beats the Switch Pro controller. I don't remember
controller
the last
is
time,
yeah. That's
I don't remember the last time I charged my Switch Pro controller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
I mean it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty.
But the DualSense 5, the DualSense. Oh, there you go. I said DualSense 5. The DualSense will have a longer battery life, and I think it has a higher voltage. But the biggest thing is it doesn't have that bright ass display at the top.
Yeah. It has like kind of it does have lighting, but it's very subdued, and it's a smaller light. I'm sure it's a lot more energy efficient. So, good. I mean, I'm glad Sony made the upgrade and made it more performant. We'll see how the real world tests go, because that's like really where it's at. Like, they can kind of say numbers all day, but
So let's talk about let's shift a little gears and go mobile. I know we don't really talk mobile, but this kind of has implications depending on the outcome that could have implications on PC and console.
Yeah, this is legit big news.
And that is Epic's lawsuit, no pun intended, against Apple. And I got to say, all the headlines have these sensational headlines. Epic sues Apple, right? Mm-hmm. They're suing Google too. Like, they're not just suing Apple. Okay.
No, this is true.
They're suing Google. I want these headlines to have Epic sues Google.
No. You're right. We need to be fair. We need to be fair. They are suing Google as well as Apple in this situation.
Yes. So because they because both Apple and Google have removed Fortnite from their app stores. So Fortnite mobile is down right now.
Yeah. So let's also take a step back and say why. So what happened was, at least in the Google store, and I think in the Apple store as well, that they made an update to Fortnite to where they have two different payment options. Right? You can pay through the Epic Store, or you can use Apple Pay. You can pay through the Epic Store, or you can use Google Pay, depending on the platform that you're on, right? And at least I know there's those for sure, because I kind of looked up the lawsuit and saw some screenshots. The buying it through the Epic Store offered a discount, right, of like $2, right? It was like $7.99 versus $9.99 for credits in the game. I forget how much or whatever it was, right? And Google immediately retaliated and said, this is against our terms of service. You can't do this. And they took the app off their store. And I believe the same thing happened in the Apple store too, right? Or
well, it happened first at the Apple store, and Google followed suit when they removed Fortnite. That's why all the headlines are Epic sues Apple, right? It's just a bigger headline because Apple did it first.
Right. Yeah, sure. I mean, like so much so that Epic put out a trailer mocking the iconic 1984 Mac ad that ran. It was like a George Orwell thing, and this lady runs up with this giant hammer and breaks the giant TV screen that had the guy kind of droning on, and everyone was like just sitting there like a mindless drone, and Mac kind of like breaks out of the system and like think differently and like whatever. Like Epic basically recreated that like shot for shot in their Fortnite engine as like break the tyranny and the whatever else, because this is like some weird dystopian future, which I thought was like kind of funny, and they were pretty quick to turn that around. I think so. There's like a couple things going on,
and they had hashtag free Fortnite.
They had hashtag free Fortnite. Yeah, funny enough, hashtag free Fortnite. So there's like a couple things at play, right? The lawsuit is centered around like antitrust, right? And they're framing their argument as, Google and Apple are getting very monopolistic, and they're kind of doing things to enhance their own brand and their own products, right? Like case in point, there was a lawsuit against Microsoft in the late 90s, to where they said, well, Microsoft is a monopoly, right? And Microsoft had Internet Explorer, which was a product of theirs, a web browser that is now ubiquitous and built into Windows. But at the time, it necessarily wasn't. And they were doing bad business practices to prevent you from downloading their direct opponent, which was Netscape at the time, right? So much so that they would like in like some cases delete the installation of Netscape and then revert your browser back to Internet Explorer because they didn't want to lose market share in that case, right? And that was kind of a case where they lost because they were kind of overstepping their bounds, and they were going above and beyond where, Windows is supposed to be the neutral platform. And they're like, well, we also have this product, so we're gonna do things that are in our interest to get you onto our product. And they're like, well, that's illegal. You can't do that. So they busted up Microsoft into their software division and their operating system division, right? Because they're technically two separate entities, and if they're one giant thing, like they're going to end up doing stuff like this. So I think part of what Epic is saying is that, well, Apple has the Apple Arcade, right? And they're gonna do things in their interest to get people onto Apple Arcade. Like we talked last week about Microsoft and their xCloud, and Apple said, well, we can't vet all these games, right? And I was like, well, sure. I mean, Sony said the same thing, right? And Sony is a game company, and Sony wants you to buy their version of Batman on their service or use their version of Game Pass because they get a cut from that, right? And like Apple has their Apple Arcade, so we don't want direct competition from that. So like those are kind of things that I think the lawsuit is trying to bring up, and like the things they're trying to surface.
Well, the main thing that they're talking about is, and I did read a lawsuit in this entirely, and the summaries, and I read a legal understanding of the lawsuit, because a lot of times people don't know the legalese of something, right? We call it legalese. That is like the legal language. It's so weird to call it that.
Legalese, right? Yeah, and you have some direct insight, right?
Well, it's like the lawsuit against Google, right? They're suing because this is not really a direct quote, but it's like Google has thus installed itself as the unavoidable middleman for app developers who wish to reach Android users and vice versa. Google uses its monopoly power to impose a tax to profit from itself every time an app is downloaded, right? And that is the crux of their argument. They don't want to. This is industry standard where you pay 30%,
right,
to the platform holder. So this is not an Apple thing. This is the industry thing.
Sure, 30% for Steam, 30% for Google. Yeah.
Even consoles. That's why I said this has implications for consoles, and because Nintendo, PlayStation, Microsoft, they all take 30% cut, right? Because they built the house that you want to sell stuff in. And Epic is saying that's not fair. Why we have to pay you 30%? You built the house, and they want to be able to cut the middleman out and sell directly to the consumer. So that is the big crux of their argument, right there. Regardless if you agree or disagree, they did breach the contract that they had with Google and Apple when they signed up to put Fortnite as an app on their, on their platforms. Right.
So they were in their right to take them off, right? There's this is the written contract. You violated that contract. Now the game's got to come off the store.
Correct. And I think it's fair to also say, because I'm not trying to sway anybody's opinion one way or the other. It is fair to say, or to put out there, that it looks like Epic didn't discuss any of this with Apple or Google prior to putting out in-app purchases directly to Epic.
So they
undercut Apple.
Right.
Google.
They're like, look, it's in our best interest for you to buy stuff from us, and we'll give you a little bit of a discount, right?
But we're not doing anything
wrong.
It seems that they had an elaborate plan all along, because as soon as Apple and then Google followed suit, took them down from the App Store,
then they go and file the antitrust suit.
They immediately put out a statement, and then they immediately file an antitrust suit. So this was all preeminent. Like they preemptive. They knew that this was going to happen. They were ready for the fight.
All right. So Epic is smart in this case. Like, they kind of baited them. They took the bait, and now it's like, all right, it's on now. It's on.
Well, keep in mind, Epic doesn't let people come on the Epic Game Store for free. They do take a cut. Okay.
They do.
And they undercut they undercut Steam by taking a lesser percentage. I think
it's only 18. Yeah, 18 versus 30. Right.
18.75%.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're using Unreal Engine, they suspend the engine fee, so you don't pay them a fee to use the engine.
Right. Which is kind of like a little bit antitrusty too, right? Because they have a platform, they have an engine. It would be in your best interest to use our engine because we'll give you these cuts and deals and whatnot, right? So,
hypocrisy there, but
a little bit, yeah. You got to be fair, you know.
And I just want to know if I have a game on Epic Game Store, can I bypass Epic and do purchases direct to consumer with microtransactions?
That's a good question. I would assume yes. I don't think because I mean, like, I don't think Epic. Well, I guess they do have a payment system because it's built into Fortnite. But I haven't heard anything to the contrary that you can't do that. So
all I'm doing is asking questions.
All right, yeah. Well,
all I'm doing.
Fair questions. Those are fair questions.
Because if the answer is yes, the hypocrisy is big.
I know, right? Yeah. No. You make a very solid point. So I mean, this is definitely not the end. Nor is it even the beginning. Like, this is just like kicking off. So we are definitely going to follow this story. And,
we will get a solution when the PS6 is out.
Yeah. 2025.
Well, let's talk about let's go back to consoles. Let's talk about games. Let's talk about next gen. Control, which was a great game. I think you nominated for Game of the Year last year.
The game is fantastic. I still have yet to beat it. It's a very, very difficult game, but
game is fantastic. And we talked about the DLC, right? We talked about the State of Play or the Alan Wake DLC.
Right. It kind of ties in the game world.
So they announced that they will have a Control Ultimate Edition, right? Where it'll include the free it'll include DLC and a free upgrade to the Series X and PS5. But that's only the Ultimate Edition. If you already own the game, like I own the game on the PS4.
And I own the game as well on the PS4.
You will not get a free upgrade to the PS5 or Xbox Series X. You will be able to play it, or you should be able to play it, at least on the Series X, probably not the PlayStation 5, but you won't get the graphical. Well, no. They did say the rumor is all PS4 games will be backwards compatible, but you won't get the graphical. You won't get the graphical upgrade. In that case, only if you spend $40 on the Control Ultimate Edition, which includes the DLC.
So let me ask you this: do you know any game that has gated a graphical update behind some sort of upgrade or whatever for a particular game? And I'm not talking about remasters and remakes. I'm not talking about like the Final Fantasy VII or, whatever port to a new system or whatever, and they make some tweaks and the whatever else. Like that's not what I'm talking about. Can you name any particular game in history that has done this before? Because
not yet.
Okay, I am at a bit of a loss here, and I honestly think it's kind of shitty. Like you want to put an Ultimate Edition out, you want to put a bunch of DLC on there. Sure, and you want to discount it or whatever it is. I get it. The game's what, like almost a year old by now, right? They always do that.
Came out in September.
I have the Horizon Zero Dawn Special Edition. I paid like $15. I think it was like 20 brand new. I think I got a 15 used. That's like perfectly fine. The game came out in 2017, but both.
The Horizon, to be fair, when that first came out with the DLC, it wasn't $20.
Well, whatever it is. I mean, if they want to,
it was a $40 game.
That's perfectly fine too, because the game was originally $60, and now I'm getting a game at a discount with extra DLC, right? And I bring up that game in particular because they had an HDR update because it came out before the PlayStation 4 Pro, right? And they ended up putting out an HDR update, which applies to the regular version and also the special edition with all the DLC, the complete edition or whatever it is. So I don't know. I think it's bad for Remedy to like do this. Everyone's kind of up in arms right now that like this is going on. So I think it's bad optics. You know, it makes it more of a value for you to buy the special edition, but you know, I think personally, I think people see what they're doing, and it's like, maybe we're not going to buy the special edition. I don't know.
All right, well, to play devil's advocate, if I may.
Go. Oh, please do.
You know, this game, the Control came out prior to the Series X and PS5.
Yeah.
Right. This was in development, obviously, for several years for the PS4 and Xbox One. They went back. The game came out, got well praised, got Game of the Year for IGN. He got the highest honor. Right.
It's a great game. It's a very good game.
Over Star Wars, Death Stranding, and Control. Got it, right? Surpriser, shocker, right? Now they're in development to make it look better, but they're working, right? And they're working on the expansion. So, you know, I guess in their mindset, we're back in the lab, probably working on another game too, right? Or early concepts of what their next project is, but they're in the lab working to bring you an expansion pack, right? I think this is mostly for the expansion pack. I think this is like, hey, we're putting all this work in to give you more content for this on a disc for you collectors out there.
And I'm down with that. You got me so far, Dan. You got me so far.
And we weren't going to do this. We weren't going to do a graphical upgrade, but we're going to put the work in to do a graphical upgrade because we're tying it to the Ultimate Edition. We didn't have to do it. We weren't going to do it. We're putting the manpower in to make it look better on next gen.
But that's not but that's where you lose me, because that's not additional content, all right?
Well, they're doing additional content, right?
But that's completely separate from the graphical update, though, right? The graphical update, you're going to make it look pretty, But
and simultaneously, as they are doing the new content, they're doing a graphical update right now too. They're doing the patch to make the Ultimate Edition, which is really the Alan Wake expansion, look better, right? Because it's going to come out before the PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
But here's the thing, though, right?
I'm just telling you what their mindset could be.
You can take your version of Control as well when we buy the PS5 and stick it in a PS5 and have that game play, because Sony is doing the legwork and Microsoft is doing the legwork to ensure the game will work on the current console, right? So why can't we get a graphical bump, right? It's just
okay. So how about this? I'll make it easy. I'll fix it for you.
Please do make it free.
I'll fix it. No. How about they just don't do it? They're like, look, we're in here giving you new content
for a price.
We're gonna make
for
it
a price. For a price.
But that price includes the work that we're doing for the graphical upgrade. That's what that price includes. Now, if you don't want to pay, then we just don't do the graphical upgrade. You don't get nothing. You don't get anything.
It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. You don't get anything.
Well, let's wait and see. I think there will be games. I think there will be games to follow suit.
Oh, no way. Well, this is like the transitional bit. This is going to be done after this 6 month to a year transition.
I know.
When we get to next, no way.
I think there will be other games that will follow suit.
No way. Like what if Horizon did that? What if Horizon said
no first party? This is a third party. No first party.
Why? What's the difference? But I'm saying what happened?
It's coming from Xbox. It's coming from PlayStation.
Oh, so you're saying it's bad optics? You're saying it's bad optics?
No. Third party. EA, Activision. Yes.
But why can't like Microsoft do something like that? Why can't Microsoft say, or Sony say, that our Horizon Zero Dawn, if you want the HDR upgrade?
No, this is incentive for you to buy the system. All our first party games will get free graphical upgrades. We can't promise you for third parties.
But I'm talking about on current generation. If they took Horizon Zero Dawn and you took the HDR free upgrade that they gave, but gated it behind the complete
No,
edition.
they can't because they want you.
Why not?
Because they want you to buy the system. That's why.
Okay, so you can go and buy the enhanced edition. You already have the system. You already have Horizon Zero Dawn. But we're not going to give you the graphical update.
We want you to buy the system.
Yeah, but you have it already in this case. This is the scenario I'm presenting.
Yeah,
you have the system and you have the original Horizon Zero Dawn.
PS5, so all PS4 games will have.
But I'm not talking about the cross-generational thing. I'm talking about Horizon Zero Dawn on current generation.
That's what I said. We want you to play. We want you to buy the new system. The new system is the incentive for us. That's what we care about. So
but this was all 2 years ago. Right. Remember, this game is 3 years old by now.
Again, I'm the first party.
It came out in 2017.
You're telling me I'm the first party. I'm telling you, as a first party guy, as the Sony or Xbox, I want you to buy the box. Okay, that's my concern.
Okay.
Remedy wants you to buy the game.
But you can still buy the game and the box. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. You can still play Horizon Zero Dawn.
I want to incentivize you. I want to incentivize everyone to buy the new box. That's what I want. I want you. My concern is you spending the money, the $5, $6, maybe hopefully $4 to buy the box.
You can still do that. There's nothing preventing you.
No. It's the incentive. The third parties don't care which one you buy as long as you buy the game.
Right, but what does that have to do with Horizon? Like, you can still get Horizon, you just have to pay an additional $40 for the gated content.
No. First of all, it's not $40 because you're not getting any DLC. It's just a graphical upgrade. Here, they're telling you.
No. In the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, you get everything.
Well, the complete edition already came out. There's no more DLC.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they gated the HDR upgrade and they only had it on the complete edition. But that's what I'm saying. Put yourself in 2018. Put yourself in 2018. The game is about to come out. This is what I'm talking about. And they gate the HDR content.
And the PlayStation 5 was coming in 2019.
2020. That we're not even talking about the PS5. No one knows about the PS5. I'm just talking about current gen.
I'm confused. They did. They had a complete edition that they.
But the HDR upgrade wasn't. The HDR upgrade was absolutely free. It was a free patch upgrade. I'm saying, what if they gated the HDR content into the complete edition?
So if you wanted so you're saying if you wanted the HDR content,
you had to get the $50 complete edition or whatever it is.
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care.
I got it anyway. I wouldn't care personally.
You don't have it. You don't have it. You have the original edition without any of the DLC.
No, I do. I bought the complete edition because I wanted the DLC.
But what I'm saying is, in this scenario, the fictional you only have the original version right now. You don't have the complete edition. You bought it when it came out for $60.
I'm buying the complete edition because I want the deal. I want to play Alan Wake.
But wouldn't you be a little bit salty having them make you pay for a thing that they were gonna like potentially put out anyway? And now they're
Well, see, you're saying potentially put out. I don't know. They potentially put out. What if they said, you know what?
They did though, because they ended up making it for free too.
And I'm just I'm talking now. I'm back to Remedy. They're like, hey, we're going to do this expansion. Because we're doing expansion, we're putting a graphical upgrade with the expansion. So you have to buy the Ultimate Edition to get it. If you don't want the graphical upgrade, then we should have never went in the studio to do an expansion for the game. Then, if that's the case.
That's never been done before. That's never been done before. That is unprecedented.
Just because things haven't been done before doesn't mean they aren't going to be done or shouldn't be done.
Well, I understand it's expensive, but I'm just saying nobody's done it before. So they are breaking new ground.
Again, Obama was the first black president. It was never done before. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be done.
But nobody was against that. Anyone who was is legitimate racist.
Well.
Not to get political.
Well. There were people against that.
Yeah, and they were legitimate racist. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Well, I'm just going to say there were people against that. I'm not saying
you're right. You're right, and they were wrong because there were a
lot of people against it. There were a lot of people against it,
and they were wrong. They were 100% wrong.
Well, you know what? That's your opinion. right?
I mean, I think that's a lot of people's opinions, but okay. We I think we're digressing a little bit. I don't want to get too much of the
I'm just saying, just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it shouldn't be done, or it
okay.
It's a first for everything.
Okay,
so
okay.
That's
It's
irrelevant
not
if it's never been done.
It's not good for the consumer. And that's where I'll leave it.
You know what?
It's not.
You know what? If you want to play this, you buy it. So,
I already did buy it. I already did buy it.
No, you didn't buy the expansion. You didn't buy.
I want to play the game. I bought the game. I want to play.
Sorry, we went in and we put in this hard work to give you the expansion, and that's what has the graphical update.
Yeah, which they're charging you for. They're not giving it away. They're not doing any goodwill. They're like, look, here's what we worked on, but it's going to cost you.
I don't need goodwill.
It's going to cost you.
I'm working to give you something that you're.
So they're not. I'm saying the company is not doing any goodwill in this case.
Well, listen, they're not in the business of doing goodwill. The business of making money.
Exactly. So the fact that they put in the hard work to put in this graphical update, get out of here. They want to make money. They want to make money. It's a money move.
You know what? Again, I'll solve this. Guys, get out of the studio. Don't give me the graphical update. Just give me the expansion, and I'm still gonna and then give it to me for a little bit less, and I'll pay $30, and I'll get.
No, they would charge you the same amount. That's not how that works. They will still try and charge you $40, $50 for it.
I'll take the $30 expansion.
It's not going to be $30. It won't be $30.
I don't need the graphical upgrade. I don't need the graphical upgrade.
Oh.
So I think we're on opposite sides on that note. I think
you know what
the
ultimate answer is to buy it on the PC. You will get the best graphical experience.
Here's the ultimate answer: if you're a collector, just buy it. You're gonna buy it anyway.
Well, I mean, sure.
I'm gonna buy it anyway.
All right.
You know what else I'm gonna buy? I'm gonna buy that Suicide Squad game, or happily titled Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Wow, they're just getting right to it.
Which has a big bullseye on the back of the head of Superman.
Mm-hmm, and we talked about that last week, I think. Yeah.
DC Fandom, which is a weird name to say.
Yeah.
We know we're going to see the first look at Rocksteady's new game, right? Suicide Squad game. However, it looks like we're going to see WB Games' new Batman game as well.
Oh, right. The big Court of Owls thing we've been talking about for the last year or so.
Yeah. Now, it's going to be weird because is it going to be... I still think this Batman game is going to be like Arkham Origins 2. They're going to name it Origins 2, but I think it'll be sort of a direct sequel to Origins 2 where it's before the Arkham series. And I'm going to do a bold prediction. You heard it here first, episode 231. I'm going to do a bold prediction.
Mark it down, folks.
They're going to do a trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever this is called, Batman Court of Owls, and then they're going to do a third one like in 2022, 23, right? And remember, at the beginning of Arkham Asylum, you've captured the Joker and you're bringing him to Arkham Asylum.
Right. That's like legit the intro sequence. Yeah.
That is the intro sequence. Spoilers for a game that came out like over 10 years ago.
That's not a spoiler. That's the intro sequence. That's not the ending sequence.
Hey, I spoiled the intro. It was an exciting intro, by the way.
Oh my God. Get out of here.
It was an exciting intro.
It was very good.
I'm going to say they're going to make this Court of Owls game, right? It's going to be sort of Batman Origins 2, sort of. And they're going to make a third game, right? To complete the WB Montreal trilogy, right? To go with the Rocksteady trilogy. And at the end of that third game, you capture Joker to bring him to Arkham Asylum, which would start you into the Arkham series.
Well, there would be a way to get like Batman's ultimate villain back into the fold, which would be kind of interesting. Yeah, what I actually want to know is how are they going to do a Suicide Squad game? That's subtitled "Kill the Justice League" because that would insinuate that one of the members, maybe Wonder Woman, maybe Flash, maybe Batman or Superman, is going to get killed. Like, how do you end that? How do you even build that? I don't even know.
With the death of Superman.
With the death, you're going to take us back to 1994? The death and then subsequent return of Superman like a month later?
Look, if I have to give a prediction, right? And we didn't get a chance to have our E3 predictions because we didn't have E3, right? I'm gonna say Superman is like the most complex superhero of all time, right? In the sense that he's all powerful, so it's a hard story to tell, right? Like Batman is a human. Batman doesn't have any powers. He's really smart, right? He's a really good detective. He should, and he has gadgets because he's a rich guy.
He's got legit 0 superpowers, but he's a smart motherfucker with a lot of money.
But he can get hurt and be put in a precarious situation where he has to get out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that brings to a lot of story elements, and you can relate to that, right? Superman is the shit. He's like, you had to make like some being, you had to make like a godlike being to be his biggest foe, right? Superman can't have like the Joker be the bad guy, right? Like I was watching YouTube and I forgot about the episode where Batman went missing, or Bruce Wayne went missing, and Superman had to dress up as Batman, and like Bane. And they were trying to find him and Robin trying to find Batman or Bruce Wayne, and Bane came and tried to beat up Batman, and Superman dressed as Batman sort of just punched him one time and it was over. Right? Like Superman is all powerful. How do you make a game where the player is all powerful? It's hard. So instead of making a Superman game, they make a Suicide Squad game, and I think Superman is going to be like the number one bad guy, where it's a suicide mission because we have to stop Superman for whatever reason. Maybe Superman is brainwashed, or he's sick, or maybe you guys are just doing bad shit and you're the bad guy in the game and you have to get away from Superman and you got to kill him or something, right? You have kryptonite, right? I think that's a more interesting story than anything. Like, I think that's what's going to happen in this game. That is my prediction.
Huh. Okay. That I never actually kind of thought about it like that, right? Because there was a little bit of that in Man of Steel, right, where he was kind of going a little bit haywire, and I guess a little bit of that, for better or good, in Batman v Superman, right? They kind of went head to head. Okay, like
Superman can crush you like a grape.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, he's super powerful. So
how
I
can
think
you make an interesting game where you could just, at the end of the day, you can, they can't trap you anywhere, really. You could just bust out of it, right? They can't fight you face on unless they're a god, right? Unless they have powers just like you.
Put them in a cell of kryptonite. It's the only way. It's the only way you can get them.
That's what? How many levels of this game are they gonna have?
I don't know.
A cell of kryptonite.
I don't know.
I
but
think
sure,
I think that's a more interesting story.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. If you get Superman in a position where he's kind of overreaching and he thinks he's doing good, so he's like still presented as a good guy in his own mind, but he's kind of like taking it to the extreme to try and save people. And then you get the Suicide Squad in, like we have to tamp down Superman. Like I could see that.
The government gets the bad guys to come stop Superman because it's a suicide mission, right? Suicide Squad. That's how they started,
like covert style, right? You get one of the guys in Congress to be like, Harley Quinn, come here. We need you and your team to snuff out Superman, but keep it on the DL.
Yeah, essentially.
All right,
I like it. And our final story.
Mm-hmm.
This is nostalgia for us, and this just shows me how old I am.
So good. So, yeah, but you and me both, Dan. If this is the one time you could make fun of my age, now is the time to do it.
There's an Airbnb renting out the last Blockbuster for overnight stays. Now, if you're one of our younger listeners and you're saying, Dan, what the hell is a Blockbuster? Think of it like a physical. Well, we just got through talking about Epic Game Store, right? With Epic and Apple and Google. Think of a physical Epic Game Store or a app store where you go to rent your apps.
Yeah, or in this case, they're movies
and games
and video games. Yeah. And you can buy some overpriced popcorn at the front register.
this is a real thing. This
Yeah,
is
man.
a real thing.
And it is now completely sold out. I mean, it was sold out almost immediately after the ad went up. It is a legit Airbnb rental. It was $4 a night, which is insane. And they like reworked part of their physical store, their like brick and mortar store, to be like an Airbnb rental room. It's insane. It's insane. They even have like they have a little like old school 1980s like TV setup with a little entertainment console, the shag carpeting. They have a pull-out couch. Like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
They have a snack counter with Doritos and M&Ms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will say this: the bed sheets look straight out of Saved by the Bell.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Right?
It's like legit 80s, early 90s type of like art style aesthetic and stuff like that. It's legit Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, it's perfect, man. It's like really cool.
If you want to know where this is in actual Bend, Oregon, where Sony Bend is, which is in Oregon.
Yep.
This is crazy. I say we look to see the next time, hopefully maybe next year, we can go to Portland Gaming Expo and rent an Airbnb at Blockbuster.
Oh my God, how great would that be if they still have this going?
We just have to we have to rent a car to drive to.
I think so.
like,
I think it'd be a little bit far to get over there. I would definitely do that in a heartbeat, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, I dig it.
Yeah, man. Same. Well, that about does it. Ending this episode on a happy note, a very happy note. That's episode 231 in the books, folks. And we want to thank you guys profusely for doing all the good things that you guys do. And if you want to interact with us, and boy, we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com for if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.